Hello, hello, and welcome to episode 18 of Just Jenni Lee. I just got back from an amazing walk. It was the best walk I've had in months and months. Well-deserved blister for my new Birkenstocks, and I don't even care because it was just so amazing. I was wearing a little shrug, and then I ended up having to take that off and tie it around my waist, and I was just out in this with like feet of snow around me all over the place, which was kind of funny, but it was so gorgeous out. And I got a nice 45-minute crow walking session in and got to feel the breeze and just have some tunes playing in my ear. And it was just super, super amazing. And it got me thinking about a couple things. First of all, cabin fever is a powerful thing. And I don't think we put enough stock into it in upstate New York, especially, but in the north. Um, a lot of times you hear like the sun is bad for you, but then how come we get sick in the New England area when we don't get enough of it? So I don't know. I feel so much better for being outside for a little bit. And I'm even looking forward to William coming home and maybe getting another walk in. So I definitely think that I have suffered from some extreme cabin fever over this winter. My friend Kelly and I, we had been walking like almost every day, like through the summer and up through the fall. And then it got brutally cold out. And I mean, brutally. There were just days when it wouldn't even crack 10 and maybe it would be 20, but it'd be super windy and it would be wet and slushy and gross. And it was just kind of nasty. So we ended up really not walking at all so far this year. And that's been just a stress. My husband and I often will walk when he gets home from work, and we haven't been able to do that either. So yesterday, we ended up taking a walk in the afternoon, and it wasn't as warm as it is now. It was like 45. It's like 60 plus right now. But it was just so restorative. So today he texted me and he was like, I hope that you are getting outside because it's amazing outside. So I did, and it was incredibly, incredibly restorative. And as I was walking, I realized, oh my goodness, it's March 9th. And it made me realize that my birthday was 1 month ago today. And if you've watched like any of the vlogs or the Just Jenni Lees from that time period, you're going to see that I was really struggling. I was struggling badly just to deal with a lot. And as I was walking and crocheting, I started to realize like I have changed my mindset a good bit in the last couple weeks since then. I did not like how that hit me. And I did not want to be back in the space where I can't create and where I can't continue to function because I'm having really bad panic attacks or whatever else is going on with me. So I was reminded the other day about all the cool stuff that has happened as a result of the scarf saga that happened in December. And I had kind of written it up in my journal. One thing I've tried to do just the last week alone, I didn't do this since my birthday. I wanted to. Since my birthday, I wanted to get up every day and I wanted to do a little like brief workout like I had been doing back last year. And it's like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. And I do a little like devotional, journaling, meditative prayer time, Bible study thing. And I was just not being super consistent. I could get it done a lot of times during the week when my husband wasn't here. But on the weekends, I would never get it done. And then if I wasn't feeling well, or I was feeling overwhelmed, or I was having anxiety, or I was just super blue, like a lot of times just wouldn't happen either. And so the last 2 months have been just really, really, really hit or miss. And I can like go through my journal and I can see, I hit a day and then several days not, and then I hit a day and several days not. And I wasn't doing any of the working out. That was just like getting into the prayer and meditative time. So a week ago, I said, you know what? I am done like waiting for the right time. There is no right time. There's no time like the present. The time is now. And so I started doing that. And I said, I'm going to do this because I have a 40-day thing. You'll have to go check out my other Just Jenni Lee, which is 40 days to change. So that was what I really, really wanted to do. And I had thought maybe I would start on my birthday. And then my birthday was just such a train wreck for me that I didn't do it. And so I decided at the beginning of March that I would just put my hands to the plow and dig in. And a couple days into my little journey, I wrote up this entry and I just wanted to like share it with you and then talk a little bit about, how things are different since my birthday. But I wrote this on March 4th. I keep saying for my 50th year, I want to gift myself consistently showing up for myself. I keep showing up for everybody else, but I don't show up for myself ever. And now I know that sounds incredibly selfish, but it's easy for me to skip all kinds of commitments that I've made to myself because I have like a good reason, because I'm, committed to something else, or I've promised myself here. But a lot of times people will tell me you spread yourself too thin. And if you're looking at my YouTube channel, you're probably like, yeah, I can see that being the case. So there are certain things that I wanted to like be very consistent in, no matter what else was going on in my life. And one of them was, keeping my journal. Another one was being more healthy and like drinking water and getting exercise. Another one was making art consistently, maybe not every single day, but consistently, and posting content consistently. These were things that I felt like were out of my reach for the longest time. I didn't know how to manage myself and manage my time and how to dig into it. So anyways, I just continued on here. I started back in December before I even knew that I was doing that. I would never have guessed what the scarf saga would lead to. And since then, I've gained nearly 200 subscribers. Just about 200. I got back into the studio consistently. I finished art. I made more art. I put up the website. At least the scaffolding for it is up. I successfully completed a purchase and tested that out. I set up all the tax and all the bank stuff in order to do that. I've had several bulk cooking days. I prayed through several horrible panic attacks. I started the Just Jenni Lee podcast thing that we do here. I cleaned out the fiber arts room, which was an atrocity. We hosted Naomi for a week, and I started sewing again. I am over halfway done with writing a cardigan pattern, which is really cool. Obviously, in that time, Christmas came and was put up and then left and was taken down, and all that happened. I started up and kept up with the budget for us, and I've stayed on top of that even when I wasn't feeling all that great. I created a huge spreadsheet that's within that budget, which is my art inventory, and now I'm adding to every day. I've got several pieces that get added to that so that I can at least know what are my painting titles, because honestly, I don't remember what they are. I have so many. What size is the original? What size makes a good print for that? Am I going to be selling it in a sticker form? Will I be selling the original or just prints or both? So it can really get overwhelming when you may have hundreds of pieces of artwork and you don't know really where to begin, how to find them. Even if someone wanted to buy one, you'd be like, where is it? So I just need to know where all of them even are. I did lots of live streams, more than I ever would have expected, and that has been such a blast, and William has joined me on several of them. We've taken several day trips, so we've gone to Lake George, and we went to Howe Caverns, and we've just had a lot of fun. Even though it's been wintry and not that great, we've made sure to go and see my parents on a regular basis. We go usually every other weekend and go hang out with them and have dinner. So we've done that. And, all of this stuff has somehow also inspired my husband to dig into some of these backlogs of administrative messes and logistical messes and even just stuff messes that are around the house. So he's started to dig into the basement, and he is helping me to set up the print lab, and he started to dig into the garage. And honestly, it's just been really amazing that I can look back now 1 month later and I can say to myself, okay, when you are persevering, even when it doesn't feel good, you will get things done. And if you document the process, you're going to see the difference. So I think a big part of this for me was back in November when I started the scarf saga, I felt kind of silly for putting my personal, struggle over making a scarf online. But there was something really interesting in doing that. It gave me perspective about myself and my own struggle. Obviously, as I go through and edit all of these videos, I have to watch myself. I'm watching myself interact with other people. I'm watching myself interact with my family. I'm watching myself interact with myself. and my artwork. And it's been really interesting because it has gone a long way in helping me to want to see a better version of myself, to watch myself. I remember back in the day, I don't know, a couple years ago, I don't know if it's like still a thing now, but maybe people who are losing weight or bodybuilders or whatever would tell you this, but there was like a phase or a fad that was going around for a long time where people would want to take a picture of themselves every single day, like in their undies or in their bathing suit or their boxers or whatever. And you would take a picture every single day. And looking at that picture every single day would actually give you a high degree of accountability towards working out and eating healthy and doing all the things that you know to do. I didn't do that per se, but one thing I did do was when I started losing weight way back in 2001 when I had gotten heavy, there was something I read somewhere, and I don't even know where it was because I was reading Atkins and Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig and all of them. I was going online and I was trying to do research and figure out what is the best way. How can I do this one time? My mom yo-yo dieted my whole life, and she would get really, fairly heavy for her frame and then lose a ton of weight. And she would like fluctuate by like 100 pounds. She'd be down to like 98 pounds and then up to 208 pounds. And it would literally be that level of fluctuation. So when I decided to lose weight when Naomi was just a little less than 1 year old, I read something that said the best way, the strongest correlation with long-term weight loss in people, especially those who have to lose a significant amount of weight, is if they weigh themselves every day. And pretty much I read that in one place. I don't remember where I read it, but I remember reading everywhere else. No, don't do that. Don't let the scale dictate your journey. Don't be discouraged by the scale. But I found that when I weighed myself every day, just once a day, got up, went to the bathroom, stripped my clothes off before I got in the shower or the bath, weighed myself, and didn't do it again. Like, I was dogmatic about it. I did not do it again. That was the only time I would do it. And I found that would keep me so motivated on the days where I would maybe fluctuate a little lower. I would be so encouraged that I would be more thoughtful. And on the days that I would fluctuate maybe a little higher, it made me more cognizant. And there were times when I plateaued. When I lost weight, I took a good 5 years to do it. And there were times when I would plateau for weeks and months. And what I would do in those times, instead of trying to continue to lose more and more and more and more weight, what I tried to do is just maintain the weight I was. So I started off at 200 pounds. And I remember when I hit like the first like plateau, and it was at like 175. And my sister-in-law at the time was getting married. And it would have been really tempting to sort of like crash diet so that I could have like a skinnier bridesmaid's dress. But first of all, I was already pretty thrilled that I was 25 pounds less than when I started. And that made me really excited. But then the other thing was I was going through all that with her, and we were preparing for her wedding and different things of that nature. I just allowed myself to kind of be like normal, but maintain. There's a big difference. There's a big difference between just being as indulgent as you want to be with yourself while you don't get on the scale versus I'm still getting on the scale every day. I'm not exactly dieting, but I'm not going to let myself get out of control, which means I'm going to monitor my portions, which means maybe I'm going to be good about taking a walk every day, which means I'm not going to be, drinking big glasses. I love tea with honey and like half and half or heavy whipping cream. I'll make a big pot in the morning, and I don't know, it's way more calories probably than I need, unless that's really all I'm having for at least the first part of my day, which is sometimes the case. But, I might be skipping that and just going for water during some of these days. So you could say, well, you're still sort of watching yourself then. I was watching myself to a degree. I would sort of maintain, and then I would take advantage of the fact that, I don't know, I get the flu and I lose some weight. And you could say, oh, it's just water weight. But I would maintain. Every time I lost a few pounds due to various things, I lost some weight due to surgery. I lost weight because I got ill. I lost weight one time because I went through a really bad breakup. And what I did each of those times was I maintained. My weight loss was way, way, way more about maintaining whatever weight I did lose than actually constantly trying to like proactively lose weight all the time. I'm not saying I didn't do that. I'm saying I focused mostly for 5 years on maintaining my weight. So that's how I went from 200 pounds to 120 pounds over such a slow period of time because I maintained consistency. And so I knew I was capable of doing that, but I didn't really I didn't know how to do it in this arena. I didn't know how to do it in the studio. I didn't know how to do it for my personal like goals outside of just wanting to lose weight. Like the idea of being fit and healthy wasn't really a huge part of my thing. I just wanted to not be as heavy as I was. And so I could do a lot of that with changing what I ate. But I wanted to add in the health benefits of physical exercise and drinking water and those things. And so over the last couple of years, I've done a lot better with walking and drinking water. But again, I was inconsistent in getting into the studio. I was inconsistent in having a workout. I was inconsistent in having like a daily meditative prayer time. And so this year, I really wanted to gift myself being consistent. Being consistent here in the studio and doing content creation and watching myself almost every day as I'm editing videos has really helped me to have an outsider look at myself and be able to maybe judge myself a little bit more objectively. And I don't mean in a bad way, because I can definitely get down on myself. I just mean in a way that is honest and allows me to actually set goals that are achievable and to not allow myself to get stuck in what feels like the mud of gloom and doom and depression and anxiety. I don't want to be trapped by that anymore. So a month out for my birthday, I feel really excited to look back and see so much is going on and so much is happening. So if you made it this far, I really appreciate you. I can't wait to show you stuff that's happening in the studio in the future, especially with the website. That is so much fun. I cannot wait to show you the whole thing. I'd love to have you join my journey. If you would like and subscribe, that would make my whole day. And I hope that you're getting outside and enjoying some of this amazing weather, because I don't know, it probably isn't around for the rest of March, but a little taste of it is really, really amazing. So I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day and rest of your week, and I will catch you in the next video.